What up, Ring Crew Army, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and on this episode of the Square Circle Podcast, we will be continuing our New Japan Pro Wrestling journey, talking about the New Japan Cup, or shall I say, the New Japan Cup. That is right. But this episode in particular will cover one out of two Bullet Club matches during this New Japan Cup. This one will cover Chase Owens versus David Finlay. And before I jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here to the Square Circle Podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. Your listens and your views matter to myself, Marie Shadows, the host of the show. And also, if you're not following me on Twitter, you should. Follow me at Marie_Shadows to talk about everything professional wrestling and to know when I release a brand new episode via anchor.fm/Square Circle Podcast or on the YouTube side, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. Guys, if you want to support the YouTube side, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, drop me a like, and definitely drop me a comment about the New Japan Cup and all your picks, and even comment about things I've said on this podcast about it. Your support means everything to me and to this podcast. So thank you for being here and listening. And I hope that my perspective on professional wrestling and the breakdown and analysis that I do, the deep dives into character story, character development, all things professional wrestling, helps bring some type of value into your life and you can appreciate my knowledge. If you do, on the Anchor page, there is a little button that says tips/donations. It is not mandatory. It is not needed. But if you feel like I have done a great job, you could definitely throw me a tip over on that page. It will be highly appreciated. And I will definitely give you a shout out if you're able to leave your name. Either way, comments are welcome. Shares are welcome. Love, love, love is welcome too. So let's jump right into David Finlay versus Chase Owens. Finlay does a suplex onto Chase and goes for a cover. Chase kicks out at 2. Chase then pushes Finlay into the corner and runs into an elbow by Finlay. Chase charges again. However, Finlay gets the boot up and Chase catches Finlay's boot only to pull him down into a backbreaker. Chase then comes in with kicks to Finlay's lower back and delivers an elbow strike to damage Finlay's back further. Then Chase does a bow and arrow submission onto Finlay. After Chase breaks the submission hold on Finlay, Chase goes in with a elbow and then a flying elbow combination that takes Finlay down. Chase covers Finlay and Finlay kicks out at 2. Chase goes for a back rake and Finlay misses his shot. Chase comes in with a back body drop with a bridge pinning combination. However, Finlay kicks out at 2 again. Chase now has Finlay in a leg scissors and applies pressure to that lower back. Finlay manages to do a cutter to Chase when they both come up to a vertical base. Some forearms, a European uppercut, a flying elbow to Chase by Finlay. Finlay is trying to gain some momentum in this match against Chase. Chase is now on the outside and David Finlay comes in with a cross-body attack onto Chase. Now back inside the ring, we have a running uppercut to Chase in the corner. Finlay hops up on the second rope, jumps over Chase. Finlay does a sidewalk slam onto Chase and covers Chase, only for Chase to kick out at 2. Chase then comes in with a double drop kick through the bottom rope that hits Finlay and sends Finlay back first into the barricade. Finlay catches Chase with a high backbreaker and goes for the cover. Chase kicks out at 2. Chase then avoids the sliced bread attempt by Finlay. Chase throws Finlay back first into the corner pad and then a clothesline to Finlay, covers Finlay. However, Finlay kicks out at 2. And then the frustration is setting in as Chase attempts to cover Finlay 4 more times and Finlay kicks out of those attempted pins as well. As both men are back to a vertical base, Chase misses with a knee but does a fake out that has Finlay missing the double drop kick. Chase quickly goes in for a Shining Wizard on Finlay, then the half Nelson backbreaker to Finlay. Finlay kicks out of the cover from Chase. Now we get a forearm exchange and the Kyoto crowd is getting into it between these two guys. Then a clothesline takes down Finlay. Finlay kicks out of the cover by Chase. Chase then rips up the protective padding on the floor. Juice steps in and the referee tells him to step back, and this causes a distraction while Chase gets the Texas Championship title and uses it to hit Finlay in the head and quickly calls for the referee to come in so he could count 1, 2, 3 for the victory. However, when Chase goes for the cover and the referee starts counting, David Finlay kicks out at 2. Chase Owens then does the slingshot backbreaker to Finlay, followed up by a shining wizard. Chase then goes for the package power driver, but Finlay reverses it into a roll-up pin and shockingly gets the victory over Chase Owens, and shockingly gets a victory over Bullet Club, and shockingly advances to the second round. What happened? That is my question. I don't get it. What? So before this podcast comes out, you guys are going to have to listen to my predictions podcast. If you haven't already, it's in the archives. You could just go back to it. And I basically just tell a mini story of a what if David Finlay gets the upset victory in the New Japan Cup of 2021. What happens if this New Japan Cup of 2021 is the year of David Finlay? To prove everybody wrong, because he does have a lot to prove. His namesake is one of the reasons why he has a lot to prove. He has been doing great on his own. He has been doing fantastic with Juice Robinson as a tag team, and he has everything to prove in this tournament against all the participants. Like, I was not expecting David Finlay to get the victory over Chase Owens. I honestly wanted a Jay White versus Chase Owens in this tournament match. That's what I really wanted. But now we might most likely get Jay White versus David Finlay. We might end up getting that. And that's going to be amazing. And I want that match too, only because of the history that both David Finlay and Jay White has. So, you know, is definitely an upset victory on the Bullet Club side and definitely on Chase Owens' side. Story-wise, I don't know where this is going. Chase Owens lost to Yano. I was hoping that in this tournament, Chase Owens would interfere between Yano versus Bad Luck Fale, so Fale can advance in the tournament, and so that way more Bullet Club members can overwhelm the tournament. And Bullet Club can definitely feel like the monsters that they've been feeling ever since the start of the new beginning. They have been destructive, whether they win or lose. And that's what I was hoping that this tournament would have provided for the Bullet Club. But Chase Owens is out of the tournament, unfortunately. I don't know why, and I don't see where this story is going. Chase has a loss against Yano. Now Chase has a loss against David Finlay. Maybe when Finlay goes over Yoshihashi. That is right. Here's a spoiler, guys. In the match between Yoshihashi versus Yujiro, which was right after the Chase Owens versus David Finlay match, Yoshihashi picked up the victory over Yujiro. I'm not too big of a fan of Yujiro. He's part of Bullet Club. Cool. Bullet Club suffered another loss in this tournament. However, when David Finlay gets the victory over Yoshihashi, he will not get the victory over Jay White. I could tell you that. But then again, David Finlay does have the most to prove. As far as story-wise for Chase Owens, I have no idea where it's going. I don't really know. If you want to make Chase Owens feel better, head over to his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CrownJewelBC to cheer him up. I have no other insider knowledge just because I hang out in his streams. I don't really know what's happening. But that was a shocker to me, and that's definitely probably a shocker to everyone else. Maybe I'll find more info in the backstage comments when I see them later on tonight, and I will talk about them on the next podcast episode. But other than that, I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to an episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and I'll see you guys on the next one.